Making a narrated PowerPoint. The purpose of this presentation is to give guidance to tutors who are intending to create a narrated PowerPoint. This is an introduction and a short overview. You will be able to find links and resources within the presentation at the end if you would like more information. It is important that you have a clear rationale for using narrated PowerPoint. Why are you using narrated PowerPoint? How will it enhance the learning experience and achievement of the learning outcomes? For example, is it for information, technical instruction, part of a blended learning programme? Do you need to include active learning exercises? Who will be the learners? Distance learners, campus-based, previous experience of learning, any learning needs? What is the content you want to deliver, and is narrated PowerPoint the best way to deliver this? Knowing what you want to deliver, understanding the learning outcomes and the needs of the learners will also influence the design of the PowerPoint and will ensure it is constructively aligned to these. One of the problems with the use of technologies is poor quality. If the quality is poor, so will be the quality of learning that takes place. Have you ever felt like this, out of your depth, disorganised and overwhelmed with the technology? That is why it is important before you start to ensure you have the tools, the time and the know-how to produce a quality product. Take time to ensure you have a good quality PowerPoint. This will take time, especially if you're new to the technology. Ensure you have access to the technological knowledge and resources that you will need. Design is important. It needs to be aligned with your learning outcomes, and consideration needs to be given to presentation of information with regards to how people learn and process information. Just some quick tips to get you going, but as already mentioned, there are many more which can be accessed by some of the links provided. Narrated PowerPoints can be created into a web page or can be uploaded onto course management system classrooms, but be careful about file size with PowerPoint's own record and narration option. Free and commercial screencasting software products are available, but they do have limitations in their functionality. SlideShare is a good resource in this respect. However, if you use this, your presentation will be available for anyone on the World Wide Web to view. If you want it only accessible to your students, you will have to have it encrypted. Let's now look a bit more in depth at design. A well-designed presentation will enhance the learning that takes place. This is an example of a badly designed slide. Pause the narration and take a minute to think about what makes the information on here difficult to absorb. In face-to-face classroom, the students have you, but as you're not physically present, the online PowerPoint needs to convey the entire presentation. So how do you create a good design? We can look at three main areas in a little more depth. Making use of dyslexia guidelines, being creative and being congruent with pedagogy and learning outcomes. Using dyslexia guidelines. The great thing about using dyslexia guidelines for formatting PowerPoint slides and in consideration of the narration is that this will make the presentation much easier to follow and absorb generally. Not just for students with dyslexia. These are some examples of tips for formatting slides with regards to dyslexia. Use 24 for text size. Use text boxes. Keep images separate from text. Images after text. Manageable chunks of information. Contrast between text and background. There is a link at the bottom of this slide to a more comprehensive guide. Next, be creative. Uses images, graphics and video links to liven up the presentation. The use of visuals will benefit those who learn better with visual images. There is evidence to suggest that a creative content enhances learning. The use of visuals also lends itself well to the use of metaphor, which is suggested also to be an effective learning tool. Be careful about copyright though when using images. They are not your own. Many search engines, such as Google, have a filtering system where you can choose to search for images with a Creative Commons license. Click onto the Creative Commons logo on the slide for more information. You can also provide links to websites and YouTube clips within the slides. Try clicking onto the link provided on this slide. This is a good clip about how to make presentations more visibly effective, with many more suggested clips on the same page. Constructive alignment. The design of the slides needs to be constructively aligned with the chosen pedagogy and learning outcomes. For example, transfer of information and knowledge, presentation of information only, step-by-step instruction, for example, breakdown into steps, test knowledge at the end of each step, use of instructional diagrams, clips to demonstrate, active learning. Set active learning exercises at the end of each section. Collaborative learning could get students to design a PowerPoint together on a particular subject. It is possible that these pedagogical designs may be present in one presentation, but whatever is used, ensure the reasons are valid. The narration. Be human and use your personality. Remember to maintain teacher presence, as you will not be physically present. Your voice will need to convey everything you would want to convey to the students, as if you were there with them. Be aware of using different tones and expression without being over the top. The narration needs to be clear in your diction, but also with consideration of sound and quality. For example, do not put your mouth too near the microphone and use a good quality platform. Regarding dyslexia guidelines, provide information in manageable chunks and link it to the text, allowing for pauses. But avoid just reading bulleted points and allow the narration to flow over a series of slides. There are links at the end of the presentation for information on how to set up the narration. Finally, provide a printable copy of the narration to go with the PowerPoint. This is useful for providing written text in regard to the preferred learning styles and can be backup in a case of technical failure with the narration. This is the slide with useful links to further resources and information. The next few slides are the reference list. This is now the end of the presentation. Thank you for your viewing and listening. Please get in touch with Jenny, Louise or Fiona via the discussion board if you have any thoughts or questions regarding the presentation. Thank you.